Good morning, and Jen B has it right. I'm just having a chat here on TradingView with Jen, um, so you got it right. I don't lose subscribers because of a rival football club. Anyone who is a rival football club might go, "Oh, unsubscribe." Jen follows someone else. Just kidding. It's all about trading. I was just saying that I've been up since 3 a.m. It is 3 p.m. now. So it's many hours of being awake. I'm tired. Hey, Chiwan. Hey, Suki. BL is not going to be trading today. He's enjoying a long weekend, or super long weekend if you're not trading today. Possibly a good idea, but there are some good trades I have been looking at as well. I'm well, Suki. How are you? Fantastic. Completely agree. Okay, I'm not going to make this a whole football discussion. We can do that on another platform. I will show you where shortly. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Anyone else who wants to tell me where, which football club they follow, put it into the chat. Let me know. In the meantime, just sharing a link here with you guys. Nope, can't send that. Take that away then. All right, can't send it on TradingView, it seems. But the link is there on YouTube. How do I delete that? I can't delete that. Oh well. Okay. Hey, Actunis. How are you doing? Good morning. Chiwan goes for the hammers. Suki's on time, usually late. No, late. Better late than never. So it's good. 1 to 2 more minutes before we get started. Let me just try something as well. Let's see if I can do that. That works. Okay. What about everyone else? Who else is here? Oh, wait, so you did see the link. Jen, did you see the link on TradingView? Because it shows that it didn't come up. Hey, Nick, how are you doing? Alrighty, 1 more minute and we shall get started. If you're new to the session, drop a message, say hi. If you're a regular, drop a message and say hi. Click that rocket ship button, click the thumbs up button. Hey, Angel Case, how are you doing? Hope you're all well. Thank you for joining. Okay. The YouTube channel is there. The link is there as well. So you guys can join, can click onto that. All right. Make sure you jump onto YouTube as well. Trying to build the subscriber numbers on YouTube as well. Ish B93 and Solus Ben. Alrighty, let's get started. So again, welcome. Thank you all for attending the session today, the daily market analysis, where I will be doing a preview of or review of the fundamentals, what happened last night since the last time we spoke, and then a preview of what's coming up. And then we'll look into the technicals in terms of where price is, combine that, put it together, and then we'll look at some possible trade setups. Okay, so we will look at all that together. If you do have any questions at any point in time, please feel free, put it into the chat. Let me know. I'll be happy to address your questions. You know, whether you want me to repeat a point, elaborate anything. If there's any trades that you're possibly looking at or any setups that you're possibly looking at, put it into the chat. Let me know. I'll be happy to look into that as well. If you are new to the session, say hi. Let me know where you're joining from. I always want to find out. And I have all the regulars here already. Regulars, thank you for being a regular, trying to build this community. If you haven't already, click that rocket ship button on TradingView and the thumbs up button on YouTube. Do remember to subscribe. The info is all there. I'm actually building more material and content for you guys as well. Okay. With that said, just let me check something. All right, let's get started. So a quick disclaimer, any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. So please remember, do your own due diligence before you do jump into any trades. All right. There was a quick question here that when will you be doing the scalping and moving average lessons as discussed on Tuesday? You know, the idea, or not idea, what I want to do is I want to try and, time it, right? Time the scalping session to a news event. Okay, so ideally usually what we do is after this daily analysis session, we do a educational session on some days. I was doing up the material and I just thought it's all theoretical, it's all on the charts, we already know what's happened. What I want to do is get to find a day where we actually have news being released at an appropriate time for everyone. Then we can do a quick theory or a quick example session, and then after that go live into scalping, showing you how I would scalp the markets as price move, right? So a lot of times previously when I've done the scalping sessions in person, people will be like, oh, you already know it's moving in this direction, that's why you're telling me to buy here or sell there. So we want to try and do it as it happens. So I'm planning that session to come. Okay, so just to answer your question there on the scalping, moving average, on all the other sessions, we try and make it more applicable. Okay, not just theoretical. With that, any other questions? No. Okay, cool. So let's keep going. If you hear the sound, the pop-up sounds on my Discord, bear with it for a moment. I'll tell you more about that as time comes up. Okay. Okay. So what has happened last night? It's quite interesting. You can see everything pushing slightly to the upside. I'll show you a trade that I'm riding on right now. Later on, okay. What happened yesterday? We spoke about this already. The Kiwi or the RBNZ increased rates by 50 basis points. What we actually saw was it went from a 4.75 to a 5.25. Remember that the peak, right? The RBNZ has indicated that the peak level of interest rates they had previously identified was 5.5%. So we're actually 25 basis points away. not very far away, okay? And because of that, possibly one of the reasons is that on the Kiwi dollar, we saw this push up, right? We saw this push up because of the news event, and then after that, it retraced back down. Could be, well, one reason is a brief recovery in strength on the dollar, and then also the consideration that unless the RBNZ increases or signals an increase in their peak interest rates, that's going to leave very little room for them to hike further, which means that the likelihood of further rate increases might have decreased, right? That's why we didn't see that continuation to the upside. We were talking about this yesterday where I was looking for it to bounce off this level. Price didn't close above the where we thought it would get to. So this trade didn't didn't happen. So we'll take that away, and then it didn't bounce. Okay, so it didn't bounce. I'll take that arrow away just to clean up the charts a little bit. However, this is still possibly a analysis that I'll talk to you shortly about. What was a little bit confusing, unfortunate, not very nice, is that yesterday we did see the US ADP non-farm employment change number, and we were expecting a bad number because of the previous day JOLTS jobs opening dropping. So I was telling you guys, we might see a lower number. I didn't expect it to be 145. I think I was saying 190 or just below 200. 145, right? So it's worse than expected. It's a lot less than before. And you can see it was 242. It got revised up to 261, but yet it got released at 145. Anticipation here will be, hey, bad US news. What do you expect? You should be seeing the dollar weaken, okay? But at 8:15, when that was released on the dollar index, where was it? Yesterday at 8. So it's about that point. It weakened, right? It weakened slightly, basically from that 101.68 or 101.70 level down to 101.50. But then the next moment it bounced back up. Also, despite the ISM services PMI number being, I was looking at this dropping as well. I thought it would be a 52, if I'm not wrong, I was saying. It went from a 55.1, expected a 54.3, it went to a 51.2. So this was the moment when I was trading yesterday, or when I was looking at the markets yesterday, and I saw price dropped at 8:15. I was looking, some dollar weakness. I'm looking to see whether we're going to continue to the downside, whether we were looking for it to break. We were talking about it for it to break 101.40 to the next support level at 100.84. Didn't happen, right? It didn't happen. It just hit that level, 101.40, and bounced off. So at the 11 o'clock period, it was like, trading the news I was telling you guys about, where I have an anticipation of where price should head towards or what direction it should go towards. But when I look at the charts, it's going in an opposite direction. And that's where I, just went, okay, it's moving against what I expect. I'm not going to force a trade. I didn't get into any trades last night. So I actually went to bed relatively early for me. And then woke up at 3 o'clock to watch football all the way till now, okay? So that's what happened last night. News came out, our price didn't reflect the impact of the news or the possible direction of the news. That's where I would say, I stopped. I didn't trade. Through to today, not a lot of news. I mean, a lot of news, but not big price moving news at this point. All the way through to tonight, 8:30 GMT plus 8, where we do have Canadian employment numbers. Okay, a little bit weird. Let me just check something here. All right, so a little bit weird that it's being released on a Thursday because typically it gets released on a Friday, right? Canadian employment numbers typically gets released on a Friday, which would normally coincide with the non-farm payrolls, right? The U.S. non-farm payrolls. In fact, I know why it's being released on a Thursday because we are having a bank holiday tomorrow for Good Friday in Canada, in the Eurozone, in the UK, in the Swiss, in Australia, and New Zealand. Okay, so like Bill was saying, just be super careful. We are heading into a long weekend. Market volatility is going to be, liquidity and volatility is going to be choppy, right? Because a lot of markets are closed. All the way till at night where we have the US non-farm payrolls number to be released. Okay, so I'll do a bit of a coverage in terms of the non-farm payrolls as well today because we're not, again, reminder, we're not going to have a session tomorrow. Repeat that, we're not going to have a session tomorrow. So if you do turn up at 3 o'clock, then I'm not going to be here. You can drop a message into Discord where I can be chatting up with you guys as well. Okay. Thank you, Zohar, because he just said thanks for your effort. I appreciate that. So, Canadian employment numbers to be released today. Employment change looking to go from 21.8 to 10.2. Wait, why is that not moving? Hang on, just let me reload that. Okay, and you can see that it has typically over the last several months been beating the forecast at this. And you know why it's been beating forecast? It's because the forecast has been very weak, right? It's been very weak. It was previously 150, expected 8.5, easy to beat. Previously 104, expected 15, easy to beat, big beat. 10, expected 5, again, easy to beat. So it seems like, and I don't know why, I can't explain this, is that they have been under expecting, or the forecast has been quite modest in terms of employment change for the Canadians. This case, if we do see this beat, it's possibly going to be offset by the unemployment rate. They keep expecting an increase, but it's been staying at that 5% level. So this is possibly going to come out at 5%. This is going to be a beat. We might see some strength on the Canadian dollar because of this news at 8:30 GMT plus 8. We do have US unemployment claims to be released. Bear in mind, this is a weekly number. Where is it? A weekly number here. So it's not likely to have a big impact in terms of price, right? So just be careful with that. Also because we do have the lead up to the non-farm payrolls or the non-farm employment change number, with JOLTS being a lot worse than expected 2 days ago, with the ADP being worse than expected yesterday. Again, ADP is not a correlated or not a consistent correlation of non-farm employment change numbers. You can also see that previously we were at 311K, expected 236. So we might actually see this, right? Markets are expecting a drop. I might see, I hate guessing non-farm payrolls number because it's just a wild stab in the dark. But I might see that 200 number or the 190 number. Okay. In fact, if you want to put it into the chat, whether you're on YouTube or on TradingView, put it into the chat based on this previous number of 311 and the forecast of 236. What do you think the non-farm employment change number is going to be? Right? Put it into the chat. Let me know what do you think the non-farm employment change number is going to be. I might, for the person who is the closest, I might have a small, tiny giveaway for you guys. Small, tiny giveaway. And preferably, If you are on TradingView, then it'll be easier for me to do that as well. Okay, so put it in, let me know. And then if you're on TradingView, if you win, you should be on TradingView, then we'll work something out from there. Okay, so average hourly earnings, if it does go from that 0.2% to 0.3, it was 0.3, it dropped slightly last month. Average hourly earnings climbing is going to impact inflation, because that's how much they are paying for labor. As cost increases, that's going to impact inflation. I think that a small increase is not going to do too much. So I'm possibly not going to be trading this Friday, right? One is because it's Good Friday, and two, because I think that we might see a bit of a mixed bag of data release here. So we might see a good number, right? About 0.3 here for average hourly earnings. We might see non-farm payroll come out at that 190. I'm anticipating 190 or 200 level there. And then unemployment rate possibly at that 3.6. I wouldn't rule out a slight increase to a 3.7. Right? Why I think there might be a slight increase, because of the way the employment numbers has been, right? Because of the way the employment numbers has been. So I think that we might see for tomorrow green and red numbers right across mix. And then you're going to see a super choppy price action on the dollar, in addition to the dollar index, trading at that super low range, between 102 and 101.40. I think we're going to see choppy price action. If it does break down, then we might see it bounce back up, a brief break, bounce back up again. So I think BL was saying this yesterday, where it's choppy price action. I think that's going to continue, right? With the dollar right now, we saw it last night climbing up to hit that 102 level. Now tracking back down, right? Now tracking back down. So I do anticipate, you all know I'm more trend following. So take that away for now, because that's not going to happen. Today is the 6th of April. Okay, so I'm looking at this dollar index as dropped. I think I did the analysis before as well. So I did some posts today. And if we did that, right, you can see that for that move down, it came back up, it's tested 38.2, and then it seems like, it's failed to break 38.2, it's retracing back down now. So what I'm possibly looking for here is a continuation to the downside on the dollar, right? So we're looking for this to continue trading down to 101.40 support. Okay. And then with that, I think that we're likely to see price do that, maybe break out a little bit, but then do that in the short term, today through to tomorrow. Okay. So just be extra careful. If it breaks below 101.40, it could be a likely false break. All right. Ayakame says, yes, mixed bag, definitely. Okay. BL says, yes, very, very choppy. Good. Thank you all for putting in your guesses. Anyone else with a guess on the non-farm payrolls, you can put it in as well. All right, there is a small price, especially if you're on TradingView. Okay, so that's where I think the dollar could be heading towards. right? Super choppy, but I think that's where the dollar could be heading towards. So now looking at the Kiwi dollar, I'm just a bit messy chart. I'm going to take some of this away. We did very well on the Kiwi dollar with that zigzag up. It's pushed up to that almost at 0.6390 level. Since then has retraced back down. Now that it's come back into this region, what we could see, a bit of a head there, a bit of a shoulder there, and then not really, but a bit of a weak shoulder in this, no, not that, in this region there. Okay, so if this resistance level holds, right? It's came up, it tested, it's turned back down slightly. If this resistance level holds and price does break below this point, what am I doing? Okay, if price does break below this 0.6276 or 0.6275 level, I do think that we could see it continue this, right? Test that range again. All right, so it forms that. Hey, Jane, been busy. I watch. Hey, Bill, how are you doing? At least you're watching after hours, so it's good. So, I'm looking at this formation. I think that if it does break below 0.6275, we could be looking at a short-term sell, right? 6275. Your stop loss could be relatively tight, about 20 pips. Take profit about 35. Again, back down to that trend line, which has worked very well for us over the last couple of trades. So I'm looking for that on the Kiwi dollar. Okay, so that is 0.6275, 20 to 35. We're looking to sell 0.6275, stop loss 20 TP 35, right down to that trend line as a diagonal support. Now, and it seems like it's really pushing down, right? So it's a bit weird. When you look at it, you see dollar index pushing down, but yet the Kiwi is resisting the upward move. Technically, we should see dollar drop, we should see Kiwi pushing up, but it's being held by that resistance level. So that's one thing I'm looking at, possibly that weakness on the Kiwi pushing, maintaining that level. Similar for the Aussie dollar, right? Similar for the Aussie dollar, but the Aussie dollar, looking for that downside. I don't think it'd be a trade now. You could be looking for it to break the support level first. So this trade worked well for us. It didn't bounce up from that level. We were looking at Aussie looking to sell at 6715, stop loss 20, take profit 30. That did shoot down, right? I didn't get into this trade, unfortunately. It did shoot down and hit the trend line again. Very similar pattern, hit the trend line and bounce, hit the trend line and bounce. Right now, momentum on the Aussie seems to be pushing it to the downside. So I am looking to see whether the Aussie can break firstly this trend line and also this support level at 6670. Right, 6670. If it does break, then you could be looking for a continuation to the downside. This is a very safe move, right? I hate saying safe move because there's no safety in trading, but it's a risk adverse move. It's because you're waiting for a big push to the downside, right? Waiting for that whole push, and if it breaks below this point, it's a continuation of the momentum, 35 pips to the downside. Stop loss can be very tight here at about 15 to 20 pips, right? So even if you did a 20 pip stop loss, which is very significant here because it's right above that support level, we're looking for this move on the Aussie downwards. Okay, so Aussie below 66, we can even do, let's do 0.6660. Stop loss 20 pips, take profit 30 pips. Very similar to the Kiwi dollar to the downside. Sell 0.660, stop loss 20, take profit 30, done. Okay, so that worked out well for yesterday. Let's see whether it's going to happen again today. So far, so good. Any questions? Any questions at all? Let me know. I'll tell you guys. Well, I'm just checking my trade. Okay, cool. I'll tell you guys what I just got into before this session, because I know I'm flicking around in a lot of charts, so just bear with me a moment. Yesterday's stream in the comments was from Ray Charles, where he said, "Can you publish a view on the pound yen?" So that made me look at the pound yen here, where I was looking at this bouncing up, and it formed a support at about that 38.2 level. And then I was looking at this and I thought, hey, that looks like a good move, and we could see it go back up towards that 166 level with a bit of a hesitation at 164.50. It's all written there. So what I actually did was I did jump into that trade, and while we're talking, all right, I've just moved my stop loss to break even just because I don't want to be distracted. So I did get into the pound yen just to share with you guys. I got in at this candle here. Where is it? I got in right at the start there. So there was a 2 o'clock timing. My stop loss is down at the bottom. No, down at this 30 pips here. And then I had my take profit at that one. Hang on, where's my take profit? Take profit is at 164.50. Yeah. Okay, so my take profit is at 164.50 at that level there. What I've just done is I've moved my stop loss to break even. In fact, I would love to close this out, but at break even, I'll just, let's see what happens there. All right, you guys know I don't normally move my stop loss. Typically, I would have closed out before the start of the session, but I just want to try this. Okay, a bit of a higher risk move, but we're going to see if this continues pushing up. I'm even targeting 166. Okay, so that's the analysis on the, I'll jump the gun a bit and say that's the analysis on the pound yen. Okay, where is it? Okay, pound yen. I was buying. Now if you're looking at this now, then I would say it's too late to get in. Well, to get in where I got in, I would say that you might wait for it to break 164. Right? Okay, let's put that as a resistance. And in fact, yes, in that area right now, that's why it's retracing a little bit. But we're looking for it to break 164 before you can see a trade up. So 164.20 to 165.50. Stop loss 30 to 40 pips. Take profit 125 to the upside. Right, with a bit of a hesitation at 164.50 to 164.60. I've got so many numbers, I don't know what I'm writing now. So buy above 164, stop loss. What was my stop loss again? 40, take profit 120. Stop loss 40, take profit 125. Hesitation at 164.50 to 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. 164.60. Okay, so at that level, you might be looking to close out, or you might be looking for a possible retrace. Okay, so at this point there. Makes sense on the pound yen. So in that region, I'm looking to see if maybe close out the trade or maybe put it to break even and then look to run it up. Okay, this push up, this push up on the pound yen is driven by the pound dollar. Look at the pound dollar pushing up. Okay, so it did retrace. So we were talking about this yesterday. We were looking for it to retrace. It didn't come, unfortunately, didn't come as low as that 1.24 level, right? But it did retrace down to that 1.2440 level and bounce up. Okay, too late to get in now. I would say that possibly one idea will be, wait for the candle to close on the pound dollar, right? If it does close bullish, then you could be looking at about a, let me just put in the levels just to check. All right, see, no, that's totally gone. Now let's look at this, right? If it does close over that 61.8, we might see further upside. So, looking to buy above, to be safe, especially on the pound dollar, 1.25, you could be looking for that upward move. So what it means is that on the pound dollar, I could be looking at 1.25, take profit about 50 pips. Yes, there's an interim level at 61.8. So there, right? So your stop loss can be relatively tight, about the 25 pip, take profit 50 pips to the upside, looking for it to test at 1.2555 level. All right, wait for the candle to close first, the hourly candle. So pound dollar, you can see this pushing up. That's why we saw the pound yen push up. We're looking to buy above 1.25, stop loss 25, TP 50 was upside. Okay. Any questions on the pound dollar or pound yen or Aussie and Kiwi? All good so far. Fantastic. Okay. So next up, we did the Aussie. Yes, it's bouncing back up a little bit. So maybe a revision is that because of the dollar dropping, maybe I wouldn't be looking for that. I'll tell you what, this is an option, right? We're looking to sell down on the Kiwi dollar if we see that dollar strength come back into play. One thing you can be looking at, maybe you revise this, is for upside on the Aussie dollar. If it does push above this 0.67430, 0.6730, you could be looking for an upside potential. 6730, right? Interim level, so about a 15 to 20 pip stop loss. Take profit. Ideally, you would say 60 pips to the upside, but then you could be looking to close out at about that 6765 level. Okay, so a revised Aussie dollar 6730, looking to buy. So don't look at both trades, look at either or. Buy at 0.6730. Stop loss about, what was it, 20 pips, take profit about 60 pips. Stop loss about 20, take profit at about 60. This is if we see a continuation of that downward move on the dollar index. when looking at the dollar strength, we look at the dollar index. What would you look at for pound strength? You can look at the pound index as well. Right? You can look at the pound index. Why I don't is just that sometimes you just look at too many things. It becomes a analysis paralysis. You got too many things to think about. What I do look at is like I look at the dollar index, then I look at all the charts. So I don't really look at a pound index, but I look at all the other charts of how it's moving, just to see whether it is because of dollar strength, is a move because of dollar strength, or is because of the pound strength or the euro strength or Aussie strength or weakness. Okay, hope I answered your question there. Ish 93, HB93. Aussie Cat, I will get to that, Spiros, and Zoha about the euro dollar short. Okay, so let's go to the euro dollar now. I wouldn't be short at 1.0995. 1.0, oh wait, 1.0995 1.0995 is up there. 995 is up there. Yeah, maybe you could be looking to short there. So the question on one question on a YouTube from Zoha is euro dollar 1.0995 short, which is level here, possible, very possible. You're anticipating a rejection of that 1.10 level, I think. All right. This didn't happen yesterday when we spoke about this. Let's just clear up the charts a little bit. However, what I would be looking for or prefer to look for, Bill made money on the euro dollar. Fantastic. Okay. I don't think this trend line works anymore, so we'll take it away. What I would be looking for here on the euro dollar is the buying opportunity. Right? For the short term, the buying opportunity. We're looking, whether you guys are saying, could we be looking to sell from here? Quite possibly, but I'm thinking, can we actually be looking to buy it up first, right, with that level? So looking for this to close up above 1.0920. No, you want to be safe. Okay, so for those of you who are a bit more risk taking, you can look above 1.29, 1.09, 1.0925. The take profit could be that 60, 70 pip to the upside. Your stop loss could be that 25 pip or 30 pips to the downside. You're looking at 1:2 to the upside. Or if you're a little bit more risk adverse, you could be looking at 1.0940. So let it break above that resistance level. Stop loss about 25 pips, take profit about 50 pips to that 1.10 round number level. Okay, so I'll show you the risk adverse version first. So euro dollar, we're looking to buy from 1.0940, 25 pip to 50 pips. 1.0940 with a 25 for 50 pip take profit. Okay, then from there, we might see it trade back down. You do have a high at 1.0970, just something to be careful of. But we do see it trending up. That's why I'm looking for that buying opportunity. Does that make sense to you, Zoha? I mean, I'm still looking to buy it up, follow that trend up, but then we could be looking to sell down. If you're more of a counter trend trader, you can look to sell down from there. Okay, makes sense. Let's see. Okay. Oops, where did I put that link there? Sorry, guys. Just pasted the wrong link in there for you guys. So with that, now Euro done. I want to jump to gold. All right, we spoke about gold yesterday. It came up, hit that 1.2, well, not 1.2, 2033, the 2033 level, right? And then at night, yesterday night, it went up, tested level again, failed to break, and then spiked around because of the dollar strength. And then now, early on, dollar strength pushed it down now at that 2017, 2018 level. The view still maintains, right? Upside to 2033. I don't think it'll get to 2050, so let's be more reasonable and take that away. Right, we're going to have to see a big downward move on the dollar index before we're going to see 2055. But the way it's moving now, I'm looking for this as a trade up to that 2033 level. Stop loss down there. Okay. Just be super careful on gold, super choppy, right? You can expect that kind of move. And that's why, what you realize is that when I talk about gold with you guys, I don't actually try and put in a trade setup in terms of stop loss and take profit levels, just because it's super choppy, things like that. So I do just look to identify the longer term move. You guys can be looking to get into those trades or your trades based on your own risk profile, especially on gold. Okay, so I'm still looking for that upward move to that 2033 resistance level. Okay, cool. Any questions so far? If you haven't already, do help me out. Click that thumbs up button, click that rocket ship button. I would appreciate that. And then next up, US CAD, right? We can't miss out on US CAD. US CAD didn't do as much as we thought. So at that point, we said it was going to go up, test, and come back down. It went down, bounced around, so it's very choppy. Take that away, but do remember, I'll zoom out a little bit, that we do have the employment numbers or unemployment numbers and employment change numbers to come from the Canadians. And we were talking about this, possibly good number, possibly some strength. They always expect a drop, but an increase, but it stays at 0.5%. Canadian strength might push this down, right? Together with that dollar weakness right now, right? If I just took the edge, so look for it to break, right? This is a short term, and it could happen now, even before the news release, right? You could be looking at that. That's not a great pattern, but if it does break down from this support level, why I'm struggling to tell you is that this doesn't seem like it's got a good big potential. It's only it comes down, it needs to break this level for a good strong move. The recent low is there, so it's not a great trade, especially if I say break that support. You only have that 20 something pip to the downside, right? So let me think what you could be. And you can see that the last time we broke this point was in Feb. It breaks down. All right, so I think to be extra safe on the US CAD, and also because we have that many hours in the lead up from now to the CAD news, you might be looking for that dollar weakness to continue, right? If the dollar does push down, that's going to drag the US CAD down. And if that continues, then we could be looking at, okay, this is what you could do, what I possibly would do as well, is that we look for this to come down from now to the news event. Right? So don't do anything, don't rush in on the CAD yet. Look for it to come down to that low that we saw on Tuesday where it's bounced off from, all the way to the news event at 8:30. It's 4 o'clock now, so there's about 4 hours more. If it comes down to this point at the news, if it breaks this level, then you can be looking to sell down. Right? Then you can be looking to sell down to, a good 75 pip stop loss, about that 35 pips, just above that support level, even a 40 pip, or almost a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the downside here on the US CAD. I like this setup a lot more, right? A lot more risk adverse, a lot more waiting, but more sound as a setup to the downside. Does that make sense? How do you like the US CAD? One topic for education could be about trading styles, how to find which style suits you, personality, practicality, set and forget. When do you change styles? Good. I will take that on board. I will do that as well. Okay, so that's US CAD. Below, so at below 130, 1.34. Yeah, I like this trade now. Below 1.34, 30 pip stop loss, 70 pip take profit. How about that? A lot of considerations taken for the US CAD. Let's hope that works out. Sell below 1.34, stop loss about 30 pips, take profit about 70 pips. 30, take profit 70. This is a news event. All right, so you got to watch out for the news event as well. Okay, so that's US CAD done, and then Swiss franc. I do remember your questions on the Aussie CAD. I will get to that, Spiros. The Swiss franc, big drop on the Swiss franc. Why? Because of the dollar dropping. But we were anticipating this to come down to test the support level and bounce up. It didn't bounce up as much as we thought, but it did come down, test, and bounce up. Okay, so let me just take away these lines for now. Now, same thing. Look at that huge drop, right? That's about that's a 30 pip drop within the hour because of this dollar index turning down from this resistance level. However, I would say again, same thing, coming close to that support. Let's see if it breaks, right? It's terrible to enter a trade now because you're going to have a terrible risk to reward at this point. So look to see whether it breaks below that support. If it breaks below that support, we're going to see significant downside on the dollar index. And the next support level is, oh my, very June 2021. We do have the level at about there. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I was saying this yesterday as well, is that, as it heads into that June 2021 period, multiple years ago, we're going to see very choppy price action in this level. If we do see the dollar index drop strongly, you could be looking at, below 0.9015. Stop loss 20, 15, 20 pips. Take profit about that 30 to 40 pips. So you could be looking at 20 to 40, almost a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the downside. Okay, this at this level, it presents that opportunity for the contrarians in us, where we've already seen it hit and bounce one time. The trend following people would say, okay, if it breaks this support, we can look for that downside. The alternative is that we could be looking for it to hit and bounce back up. Same thing, buy it up that 40 pips, that stop loss about 20 pips. Again, a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside there. Okay, so it's looking for that reaction at that 0.9020 support level. Okay, so Swiss franc, we're looking for that reaction at 0.9020 support level. How's that? Okay, then since we had the euro pound there, let's have a quick look at the euro pound. Moving very well as we were looking at. Well, why is it moving down? It's because of that pound strength. As pound climbs, we're going to see a euro pound trade down. This would still, if you did get into this trade, I'll hold on to it. I'll look for that. Okay, move this to stop to break even. I'll look for that take profit level. If you haven't got in, if you didn't get into that trade, it's too late. It's coming to that low. The most you can do is look for it to break that point, right? And this is a good strong support level here. So I wouldn't, look at that. If you just put it right across, that's a support level. And most of the time, not saying all the time, most of the time it comes to this point, we've seen a big break to the upside. We saw a big bounce up. We've seen a big bounce over a couple of times. So if you're not in, it's too late. Let's look for a reaction at that 8726 or 8725 support level. Okay, so euro pound, same thing like the Swiss franc, reaction possible, bounce at 0.8725. I get numbers right? 8725. Yep, okay, cool. All good? Let me know if it's all good. Did you guys get into any trades? Are you making money? Aussie CAD? Oh, today we have a tie. We have a tie today where, oh no, we have one more on TradingView compared to YouTube. Okay, so Aussie CAD, we were saying that it's going to test, it broke through, it didn't break the support. Take that away for now. Updating this line here. Zoha said, all good, I'm in euro dollar long. Very nice. So Zoha is in from 1.0891 and it is currently at 1.09. Okay, 9 pips, very good. Aussie CAD, well, anticipating the US CAD to drop because of the CAD strength. I'm looking to see whether it's going to turn down, but we're seeing some Aussie dollar strength pushing price higher. So I'm possibly going to see what happens at this point here, 0.9050. I don't even know why this line is black. So let's just take that away for now. At about that point, 9050 as a resistance level. This one as a support. Might be a good idea if it does climb up, test, and then reject, and you could be looking to sell down. That Canadian strength. That's what I'm looking for. So 15 pip take profit, stop loss. 40 pip take profit. 1:2, 1:3, almost 1:3 risk reward ratio to the downside on the Aussie CAD. Okay, makes sense there on Aussie CAD. Suki has a good question, a very good question. Does silver move alongside gold? I got into silver by mistake and ended up being profitable. It does. Silver does move in a good correlation to gold. Let me just see whether I can find it. Sorry, I'm just trying to look through a whole mess of stuff. XAU. I'm pretty sure I did a analysis on silver before on the correlation, but it's just odd that I don't see it here, unless I didn't. Yeah, so it does move in a good relation to gold, but I was looking at that as whether, like, which one leads the other, right? Which one leads, whether it's silver moving first or gold moving first. It came to the point where I think we were looking at silver at some points, do lead gold or does lead the price on gold, right? So for a while I was trading silver as well. Yeah, I don't see it on my tag list. It might have been something that I wrote for another platform. Yeah, it might be something that I wrote for another platform, so it's not here. Okay, so our close of the hour. That's turning down already. So I think there is still time. So I think it's going to push up slightly. Kiwi finding a bit of a rejection. No clear direction yet. So that would still hold. Aussie, same thing. You would say, if you're really searching for something, you would say that it's closed above the pin bar and all that. Did we do US yen? I don't think we did. Okay, I'll do an update on US yen. So that was yesterday. US yen, I am looking for that upward push, right? Because it came down, it's looking to bounce up a little bit. I think that why the US yen could pull up a little bit is because the other yen pairs, the pound yen, right? I'm still on my pound yen trying to write it up, could drag the US yen up, the euro yen, the euro dollar, if it does push up, could drag the euro yen up, which could drag the US yen up. And I'm looking to see whether it could do that, right? And I think I did that analysis as well today. Yeah, US yen. So I had the same line there, right? So I'm looking for the US yen to come up possibly to that 1.13180 level, test this level, and then turn back down. All right. But at this point, I would rather trade on the other yen pairs rather than US yen, just because if this pushes up, but the dollar continues trading down, then it's going to be that impact or that offset effect. So, I think that I'm looking for this to do that. Okay. So US yen, we'll be looking for a look to sell on retrace. Right? I wouldn't say a trade right now, but we're looking for this to retrace before selling down again. Makes sense? Makes sense? Pound dollar. looking like it's trying to push up, so that's good. Euro dollar not ready yet, also looking to push up. My pound yen is doing very nicely, so it's still pushing higher. If you haven't, then wait for it to break that 164 level, which is climbing right now. Break that level before getting in. US CAD still within that range. It's climbing slightly because of the dollar. This is right there because of the dollar tried to push up, now it's turning back down. So I do think that Swiss franc could push down towards a support level. Okay. Any questions at this point in time? My mic is. When you turn your head, the wires get loose. Okay. I will try and. How about let me just do something crazy. How would the sound work if I just left it like that? Is that better? So I'll just leave the mic on the table and not do anything to it. Mabaso, beginner trader, any advice? Check out the other videos. I might, I'll get a lot of that question, and we do get a repeat. I do tend to repeat my advice quite a bit, so maybe I'll do a recording of that, and then you guys can check that out. Okay, the link is there. Do click on that link and join. Silver. Okay, let's do a quick silver one. What was it? XAG USD. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I did analysis on silver before. Pushing up, near-term resistance at 25.13, major resistance. We haven't got a major resistance near term. Last time it was above this level, it climbed to 26 and also 26 or 27, right? And this was April last year, all right? So I wouldn't rule out a continuation to the upside, but it does need to break above this near-term level first, right? So it's similar to gold. That big push-up was what we saw on gold as well. Actually, I have it here, right? That big, it's all in a similar price action, pushing up. I think that based on my previous analysis, silver at some level does lead gold a little bit. You can see that forming a resistance, a bit of support. So I'm looking for it to break above 25.13 before we see the upside move, possibly towards 26. But I don't think it's going to be a straight line. I think it's going to be that kind of move. Okay. Actinis and also Suki on silver. We're back on Monday. So with that said, all right, have a super good Friday. Happy long weekend. Hope you have a good Easter. Do take care. Don't force trades if you don't. If the price doesn't move, please, if you are trading, trade well, trade safe. There's no session tomorrow, but we'll be back on Monday, back into the swing of things on Monday. And the link is there on YouTube, so do click on the link and join up. If you're on TradingView, check out the YouTube link, which is there. And then, you can join the other link as well. All right. So take care, trade well, trade safe, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye now.